Welcome to the 2013 KVIE Art Auction, celebrating 32 years of visual arts in our region. More than 250 pieces will be auctioned off to the highest bidder, and you can be a part of the action by watching and bidding on your favorite pieces. View the entire collection online at kvie.org/art auction. Then, when your favorite item appears, call 1-800-270-6601 to place your bid. You can also interact live with the auction team on Twitter using hashtag KVIEArts. Remember to bid high and bid often. And now, let the auction begin. Sold.
It's easy to bid on items featured in the art auction. Here's how. Explore the collection online at kvie.org/art auction. Make note of the date and time your favorite artwork comes up for bid, or stay tuned. When a piece of art catches your eye, quickly call 1-800-270-6601 and a volunteer will assist you. Most items will be sold in less than 7 minutes. Bid high and bid often so you don't miss any of your favorite items.
Stay tuned for the Artery Gallery, coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. A 65-member artist cooperative in Davis, the Artery was founded in 1974 by a small group of artists and craftspeople intent on sharing work and ideas with each other and the surrounding community. Explore the entire collection online at kvie.org/art auction. Bid high and bid often.
All right, welcome back to the KVIE Art Auction. Let's take a quick look at all the art up for auction in the next half an hour. We've got 39A, Sun and Moon Cutware. This is a fantastic piece. It's valued at $300. 39B, Skates in Line by Christopher DeWeese. This is fantastic, done framed by Archival Framing. That's D, our leader here today. Value of $550. 39C, this is called Tulips. This is a fantastic photograph, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this in a second. The value is $300. 39D, Slanting Light by Sarah Post. This is an interesting mixed media. Again, it's got a value of $400. And then 39E, Airwaves by Thomas Post, the husband of Sarah Post from 39D. And this is a fantastic photograph and valued at $250. And then 39F, this is Delta Beauty. And this is done by our beauty right here, Marie-Therese Brown, who's joining me as the art expert, and a value of $700. So first, I'd like to introduce Marie-Therese. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
And tell us a little bit about yourself and the Artery, where I think you show some of your work. And I think you've got something in our show here right now.
Yeah, thank you very much. The Artery is a cooperative gallery in Davis. We're going to be celebrating our 40th year coming up in 2014. We have 60 members of the Artery, everything from jewelry, painting, beautiful ceramics.
So this is from the Artery?
This is from the Artery.
So is this whole collection from the Artery?
This collection right now is all from the Artery, yes.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, well, great. Well, this portion of KVIE's Art Auction is presented by the Nilo Company, and I know the Nilo Company because I purchased so many cars from them. Great company, and we want to thank the Nilo Company for supporting public television and art in the Central Valley. We really appreciate your support, as do I. So how about if we start auctioning off some art here?
All right.
All right, well, we've got the first piece. This is 39A, Sun and Moon Cuteware. And tell us a little bit about the artist and this piece and how this works.
Well, this is Heidi Beckerbreed. She's a famous Davis artist. She does ceramics, and her cuteware is the signature. Every single piece is unique, and it's highly collected. This sun is inspired by early cartoons, the old cartoons, and kind of Mexican artware and the joyful Pollyannish
And it's so interesting because I think people have this perception that things that hang on a wall must be in a frame. And in fact, sculpture is really interesting hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
And this would be, great in child's room. It would be great in a living room. It would
And
be great.
because it's ceramic, it could hang outside. It could actually be in a patio.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to throw it over to Heath for a second, and then we'll be right back to talk more about this. Heath, it's all to you.
Can you hear that? That's the sound of steam and clocks and time passing us by. And you can stay with us in that flow of time by calling in with your bid on steam power clock and time compressor. Right now we have a high bid of $1,250. But we've got a couple people on the phone and they are bidding this thing up. If you want to have this piece as part of your amazing steampunk-inspired collection, now is the time to do it. 1-800-270-6601. All of these pieces move. Every single bit of this. Think about where you want to put this in your home or your office right now, and then call in and tell us where you're going to put it and how much you want to place a bid. You're not going to find a more unique piece. Now let's send it back over to Doug Elmitz.
All right, well, thank you so much. And that is a fantastic piece. And really, the value is $2,600. They aren't even close to that at $1,250. So let's keep driving that up. But let's talk a little bit more about this. And this has got a value of $300. And right now, we have a bid of $200. So we want to continue to get that up. We want to make this a bell ringer. So this artist is a collectible artist. And
she's very collectible. She's been around. You know, she studied at UC Davis. She studied with Arneson and those artists that are really well known. And Heidi's also a singer and an entertainer in Davis, so people know her for that. She teaches at the Davis Art Center. She has a following of every child that has ever taken any of her classes. And she's just a great person, great artist, and $300 seems cheap for this to me. I don't know.
You know, I mean, and frankly, the value of art is really sort of in the eye of the beholder, because I know that I've probably overpaid in auctions for art, but I will tell you this is a great opportunity because this is the largest art gallery any place in Northern California until the end of the night. So now's your opportunity to bid on a great piece of art. You can do it anonymously. You can also go onto the website kvie.org/art auction and bid there. We've got great volunteers, but the important thing is that all of the money that we generate from this wonderful auction goes to help bring the great programming that you come to count on 365 days a year. We can't do it without your support. So even if you don't need this piece, this is a great opportunity to get a wonderful collectible artist and help KVIE at the same time. So right now we're at $200. We're looking for $225. We need to make this a bell ringer. If you're the person that bid $200, why don't you just bid an extra $25? Because we know that you spend that much money during the month on lattes and donuts and things of that sort, don't you think?
Yeah, sure. You know, this piece just brings joy, and it's a great, like you said, something for a child's room. You can't,
or a kitchen.
A kitchen, yeah.
Absolutely.
You can't help but kind of smile along with the character as you look at him and his little eyes looking to the side.
And it would be a great gift, and I repeat myself continuously about this because I can't stress it enough, that this would be a fantastic gift. If you know somebody who's getting married, somebody that has a birthday that's coming up, the holidays are coming around the corner, what a great opportunity to get a great gift. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to move on to the next piece, but we're going to keep talking about that one as we move to the next. All right. So here we are, and this is 39B, Skates in Line. This is by Christopher Deweese. It's got a value of $550. We're right now at $250, and we're looking for $300. This has an interesting story, an interesting tale. I leave it to you to describe it to our audience.
Well, Christopher Deweese was in the fish, whatever that is, department at UC Davis. He knows all about these animals, and he does these great fish prints. He actually puts the printing ink on them, rolls them on, puts the paper on, and makes a print. And when it's a fish that you want to eat, he actually cleans it and eats it too.
So he doesn't
I don't know if he eats these guys.
Painted, then, huh?
Yeah, so I think the name of these are skates, so they call it Skates in Line. He has his chop mark that identifies him as the artist. It's beautifully framed by Archival Gallery, as you said earlier.
Beautifully framed and matted. The matting is fantastic, and I do think that I think the TV does justice to it. It's a large piece. I mean, this is not an insignificant piece. It's almost as tall as we are.
That's right.
And this would be a fantastic gift for somebody that might be a fisherman, somebody that might be in a restaurant business, but frankly, it would be a great addition to any collection. And if you don't have something like this, it would be great. So describe the process, though. Do you know the process for actually printing this?
You can see that he has this iridescent, kind of a goldish color down to the black, and so each one's a different color of ink that he actually inks right onto the animal and puts the paper, and it's beautiful Japanese paper that he puts on there and lifts it up, and he has a print of the animal that's on there.
It is very interesting, fun, different, and one of the things I enjoy most about art, and I think maybe you can speak to this, is the fact that you know, art is a conversation piece, so that there's a story behind this, and it would be interesting to be the owner of the art and be able to describe really what the artist was thinking. And I'm sure the artist would be more than happy to talk to the owner.
And he has a little, the title of it is Skates Inline, so it's like inline skating, and these are, that's what that little guy's called, the skate, and they're in line.
Pretty great piece.
Yeah.
We're going to go over to the phone bank right now, and we're going to see what they're auctioning off over there, and then we'll be right back.
I know, that's what I did.
Okay.
Okay. This is called Sun and Moon Cuteware, so we're trying to be cute, aren't we, Jessica? This piece has a bid of $200 on it, folks. What a great piece. You could even put this outdoors. It's outdoor safe. You could put it in your patio, in your garden, anywhere where you want to just glance at it and immediately have a smile on your face. Sun and Moon Cuteware, right, Jessica?
Yeah, I feel like it just makes you happy looking at it, so I'd want it in my home.
I would want it in my home too, but we're right here so that you can place the bid and you can have it in your home. And our wonderful volunteers from Micron and Friends of KVIE, that make some noise, folks. All right, they're making some noise, but now you can make some noise by making the phones ring. Call the number on your screen. Let's make this an auction, folks. And now let's head back over to Doug Helmets.
Okay, thank you so much, Heath. Tell us a little bit about this artist. This is a gentleman by the name of
Christopher DeWeese, very well known also in Davis. We were really glad when he became a member. You know, he retired from UC Davis, and you know, he's just famous for
became a member of the Artery.
When he became a member of the Artery, their cooperative. And this is called Goyutaku, is the kind of print this is. It's a Japanese style of art, Japanese fish printing that he does, and it is handmade Japanese paper. He said it's inspired by the arm motion of inline and speed skaters. The artist uses the movement of the alternating tail to represent that. So you see the tails going in different ways, so there's really movement going along.
All right, well, we're going to move to the next piece. We're actually at $500 now. We're just $50 short of where we need to be, so we want you to sort of inch that up a little bit. And I just want to sort of talk one more second about the framing, which I think is absolutely fantastic on that piece. I mean, that in and of itself is something that would sell me. But we're going to move on now to 39C. This is Tulips number 93B by Ann Miller. It's got a value of $300, and we've got a current bid of $90, so we need to make sure that we get to make that a bell ringer. We were talking about this a little earlier, so tell us about this. This is really
Ann Miller's,
I think we do have a bell ringer. I'm not sure what it's ringing the bell on, but we're ringing a bell on something.
That's
all
great.
Right. So let's talk about this.
So Ann Miller does beautiful photography, and for photography usually looks like abstract art. You really can't tell because she gets very close up to her subject. She does all these digital wonderful things with it. On this though, you can see that it is tulips,
right.
But she doesn't take the broad look. It's partially tulips. So it's very abstract and very interesting, and the color and everything that she's was able to capture in this photograph.
And it appears to me that there is non-glare glass on it.
Yeah, there's non-glare glass.
For a very specific reason, I'm sure, because she didn't want that to dilute maybe the depth of the photograph, possibly.
Yeah, the framing is exquisite, very well done.
And simple.
And very simple.
And so it says it's 3 out of 125. What does that mean?
That means that
audience?
she did 125 prints only, so it's a limited edition, and this is the third one in that series.
Right, and at $90 right now, which is where we are, that is what they call in the business a steal.
Es una ganga in español. Yeah, it's really a steal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you're bilingual and you taught, I understand.
I did. I was a bilingual teacher for many years. I taught in Central America and in Dixon, California.
Yeah.
A little neighboring town, and I was a Spanish teacher also.
That's great. Well, we're going to go over to Dee in the phone bank, and then we'll be right back to talk a little bit more about this. Dee?
Okay, in honor of my friend Heidi, I'm going to sing Here Comes the Sun. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay, so here goes the sun. I've got a bid of 300. The price is 300. We're going to sell the sun 300 going once, going twice. Sold at 300. Thank you very much, Heidi. You're always so good to us here at the auction. Right now, 39B Skates in Line is also a bell ringer. It has a value of $650. We are up to $1,050. We're still holding that one open. You can still own it. It's a beautiful piece. We love Chris DeWeese. So let's go back out to you guys and let's hear about some more art.
So, you know, Skates in Line had a value of $550, but it's up to $1,000. And here's the interesting thing about art, and that is that, you know, people will pay whatever they want for art. And this is a great opportunity to get some fantastic art at reasonable prices. And it is an auction, so we like to create that energy and that bidding war amongst people. So if you want to get in on the action, the number's on your screen, 1-800-270-6601. It's so easy to call. It's so easy to be part of this whole experience. You can also go to kvie.org/art auction. You can bid online. You know, some people do believe that it's a little intimidating to go into galleries. I think that that's a misnomer. Really, it's very easy. Gallery owners are eager to sell their art. We're going to move on to the next piece. Hopefully some other people will bid on 39C, but we're going to move on to 39D. 39D is Slanting Light, and this is by Sarah Post. It's mixed media. It's an interesting size, 23 by 19, so it's not small, but it's not humongous, and it's got a value of $400. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about this?
All right, well, this is a piece that it's actually done on Arches paper. It's a handmade paper, and it's cold wax and oil paint that she mixes and rolls on in different layers, different colors, and it kind of has layers of colors that come through. It's symbolic to her. It represents the sun coming through a blind, and you can see a sun shape there. It's very, very subtle. Sarah Post is quite versatile. She's a ceramicist, and she does encaustic. She teaches encaustic. Encaustic is a wax. It's done with wax. It's sort of a mystery to me. Someday I'm going to have to take one of her classes and find out, like, how do you do that?
Right.
But
and what I find interesting, not only about the beautiful framing, is how it's floated inside the frame. So there's a little depth to it, and then it's just literally floating inside.
You can see the edges of the paper, so it is floating in there. She didn't put a mat, but it is.
I like to have the works that we have floated, because I do think that sometimes the edges are very, very interesting, and many people believe that art should be literal, but I think that things that are abstract, particularly mixed media, are much more interesting.
It's very meditative.
And it's a good thing to have in a collection, mixing it within your collection, so to speak.
And if you knew Sarah, I mean, she is a person that's very calming. Just to be in her presence is pretty amazing. And this is a representation of her inner feeling of, you know, just putting those beautiful subtle colors together.
So if you're one of those people out there that has Velvet Elvis posters on your walls, or
you need
posters,
one of these,
yes, you need some real art. And right now, I mean, honestly, we are at no bids, and our phone bank is, I think, about ready to fall asleep.
Of TS
yes,
Post,
absolutely. So
quite famous woman.
Exactly. So we need to hear from you now. What a great opportunity to get an original piece of art by a well-known artist and add it to a collection, or start a collection, or give it to somebody, maybe a child who has just graduated from college and wants to have a great piece of art. We're going to go over to Dee in the phone bank. She's going to talk a little bit about the beautiful photograph we were talking about in a second.
Ann
We'll be right back. Ann Miller, absolutely. Okay.
I'm here with Karen. She's one of the people that helps call and confirm your bids. Are you having a good time?
Great time.
And she is holding item number 39C, tulips. I currently have a $110 bid. It's got a $300 value. We really need to reach that, don't we?
We do. Please call.
Call right now. It's 1-800-270-6601. I've got all these beautiful people in the phone bank wave, that are waiting to hear from you. So call now. I need a bid of $200 on tulips number 39C. So let's go back out there to my buddy Doug and see what you guys are talking about.
Okay, well, we are talking about this beautiful mixed media by Sarah Post. We're going to be moving on in a minute to a piece that was done by her husband. They're a prolific couple.
Yes, they are.
Great artists, beautifully framed. So where would you put something like this?
Oh, I would put this in a hallway, in the living room, anywhere that, you know, it's just the colors alone. Really attractive, and you see that on this.
I do like the colors, you know, and my wife loves orange, and this has this sort of beautiful orange quality.
As you look at it, you see the green, you see this beautiful red, you see that there's many, many layers on here.
And she signed it down here in the corner, which is nice, and then it looks as if there's some type of print down there.
She does a lot of scratching and scruffling into it and removing the paint and putting more paint on.
And I'm sure that if you were the person that bid on this and were the lucky winner, that she'd be more than happy to talk to you about this. Apparently
that's
she's
kind of nice. That's what's so great about local art and local artists.
Exactly. Local artists that are collected in, you know, corporate collections, people's homes. So we want to hear from you. We want you to call the number on your screen. We're going to move on to 39E. But we'll leave that going for a second. Whoa, there we go. We are now moving on to 39E. This is Airwaves, and this is fantastic. It's done by Sarah Post, person we just saw, her husband, Thomas Post, and this is a photograph. A value of $250, and we have no bids on it right now. So this is a great opportunity to get in and get a great deal. So tell us a little bit about the artist in this painting.
All right. Well,
photograph, excuse me.
This is a digital photograph, and it's a compilation of many images, but it all was inspired by a trip that he took to Florence, Italy. So he was in Florence, he had a room way up at top, he could see some views down below, so there's a photograph of that. The chairs were something that were just there, so he has this whole kind of like a personal remembrance of his dream of where he was. You know, when you have something like an experience like that, you may not remember everything, you remember the feelings, and it really expresses this feeling. And he says something about the boat was originally buried with an Egyptian king to assist his transportation to the afterlife. So, you know, it goes beyond. And
but it's a photograph, and the pieces within it are all things that have been photographed as well.
Right.
It's just it's sort of mixed
It's
together.
mixed, and so this is another sort of mystery of how he does it. And he talks about the title of the piece is Airwaves. There's airwaves, this sort of antenna on the boat itself, and then you can see airwaves that are on the building.
All right, well, we're going to go over to Dee in the phone bank. She's going to talk about Sarah Post's mixed media, and then we'll be back to talk about this in a moment. Dee?
We're here in the phone bank with my lovely niece, Nicole, and we are looking at shining light number 39, or slanting light, excuse me, number 39D. I have a bid of $150. I need $400 on this. Sarah Post exhibits regularly at the Artery. You would pay $400 in the gallery. So we're asking you to pay $400 that'll go straight to KVIE and own a piece by one of the Artery's premier artists, Sarah Post. Again, it's slanting light number 39D. I'm looking for a bid of $200. You can do that really easily by calling 1-800-270-6601 and engaging one of our lovely folks on the phone. So speaking of engaging, let's go back to the engaging Doug Elman.
You're so sweet, Dee. You are so engaging as well, as is the audience. You could be more engaging if you were bidding on this, though. And we are at $75 right now. The value is $250. We are going to go up in $25 increments. So if you want to get in on the action, what a great opportunity to get a fantastic piece of art. This is a great photograph, which is a perfect discussion piece. So you could put this in an office, you could put it in a living room, you can put it in a hallway, but it's going to generate discussion. And that's one of the things I find most interesting about art, is that it generates discussion.
You could put this in the office, lean back, put your feet up on your desk, and just dream and go off on this paint. This is so intriguing, you know, looking at it and saying, what is going on in this picture? It's quite beautiful, and the colors are wonderful. So just as a decorative piece, it's great.
All right. Well, we are going to move on to the next piece, which is 39F, and I think I know the artist who did this next piece, and I think it is you. Marie Therese Brown. And this is called Delta Beauty. And I'm just going to turn it over to you because it's your artwork, and we are looking for, we've got a retail value of $700, and we're looking for bids now. So tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us a little bit about this beautiful piece and how you came to do this.
Well, it's hard to sell your own art. That's why artists put work in galleries and
How about if I sell the art and you
But
just
I
talk
will
about
tell you
it?
how this painting came about. We were just driving down River Road along the Delta and saw this beautiful building with the light shining on it, and stopped the car, got out of the car, pulled the paints out.
What time of day?
It was in the afternoon, so you can see the shadows, the late afternoon.
And how long did it take to?
Well, the original just being out there, where we were out there maybe a couple hours. When I say we, it was my husband was with me, and he's great. He would drive me around, and we go paint together, and we'd go for
what
a
about
walk.
showing in Sacramento? And is it important to show in Sacramento? And where do you show it? Don't you have a show coming up someplace?
Well, I'm going to have a show in March at Archival Gallery, Dee's Gallery. She invited me to be in a show there, so
That's
I'm
great.
pretty thrilled about that. And I show at the Natsoulis Gallery, and I show in Winters at Rootstock and at the Artery, and
So
I've had shows everywhere, so it's fun.
And you've been painting for a long time.
Yes,
from what
I've
I
been
understand.
painting for a long time, but full-time since about 2012 when I retired. I was an art teacher. I've always painted, but when you have a full-time job, it's hard to also do the painting.
I
so.
understand.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go over to Dee in the phone bank. We're going to come back and auction this off in a second. But Dee, all to you.
I've got Nicole here with item number 39E, Airwaves. I've got a $75 bid. I need $250. I also want to recap item number 29C, the tulips. It's got a retail of $300. I'm at $250 right now. Can we just bump that up to $300 and make it a bell ringer? You hear that phone ringing? The way that works is 1-800-270-6601. Call in, put your bid in. We have really exciting art coming up. So get online at kvie.org/art auction and check out what's coming up later on tonight and give us a call. Back to you, Doug.
Okay, well, this is a value of $700. You, frankly, couldn't go into a gallery and get it for the price that we're offering it at right now, which is $200. This is something that would be beautiful as a gift. Do you give gifts of art to some of your friends?
Sometimes. It's hard because, you want to make sure they really want it. But yeah, I
absolutely.
have. Yes,
Well,
I do a lot of trading.
No, please go ahead.
Well, I just want to say that this is an oil. It's an oil painting, and it is done on a linen canvas.
And beautifully framed
and it's in a gold frame, and that is the traditional plein air frame. And it's
Well, what do
plein
you mean
air.
by plein air? What
Plein
does
air
that
is a French word. It means outside, open air. It doesn't mean just plain old air. It's plein,
Right.
means outdoors in the plein air. And it's, plein air has just caught on. There's so many artists, trying to learn how to paint. I teach a class for the Crocker Museum every summer.
Is that right?
And it's great, and it's a plein air class. And we all voted to stay at Miller Park this time.
And Miller Park is?
Miller Park is along the Sacramento River.
And this was done on the Delta.
This is
that
on
right?
the Delta. It's a Delta road, and it doesn't show the Delta, but it shows the atmosphere in the area there.
Well, right
One
now
of the
we have a
beautiful
bid of $300, and we're looking for $350, and we are going to let people in the phone bank sort of auction this off, but we are going to move on to the next set of galleries, and we'll come back and tell you a little bit about how much we were able to auction this off for. But we've got so much more original art to bid on and buy coming up in the next half an hour on KVIE's Art Auction. We want to thank our sponsor for the evening, the Nilo Company. We want you to watch this, and we'll be right back.
Think freedom. Think no limits. Think first car. Think next car. Think wow factor. Think custom. Think unlimited possibilities. 11 brands, thousands of choices, one name, Nilo. The Nilo Company is a proud sponsor of KVIE.
Stay tuned for the Still Life and Landscapes category coming up next on the KVIE Art Auction. Juried by David Post, this category features still life and non-California landscapes in all mediums. View all of the categories featured in this year's auction at kvie.org/art auction. Bid high and bid often.
Okay, welcome back to the KVIE Art Auction. Let's take a quick look at all the art for auction for the next half an hour, and we know you're enjoying this, so you're watching. Clearly you're enjoying it. So now we need to hear from you. You need to call and you need to bid, and let's talk about 40A. This is summer squash. This is got a value of $500. We have no bids on it right now, so it's a great time to get involved by calling the number on your screen. 40B, cherry tomato splash. Value $300. No bids on it. It's another opportunity to get in on the bidding. 40C, pears at sunset. And this is valued at $500. This is a very interesting piece and won a juror's award, and we have no bids on it. 40D, the copper cup. And this is valued at $600. It's very Rembrandt-esque. We were talking a little bit about this before. 40E, Best Impressions, by Gary Denon, who is actually a sculptor, so it's interesting that he was contributing a piece this year that is a work on paper. And then 40F, this is pomegranate, and it's a beautiful, beautiful blown glass piece. So let's start off by having me introduce Marie-Therese Brown, and we're glad that you're here. Tell us a little bit about 40A, and this is the piece that is a summer squash by Marianne Bland.
This is an acrylic painting on canvas, and it's a beautiful painting. Looks like a scene at the farmer's market of squash and greenery in the background, quite lively.
Since we're into this farm to fresh thing going on throughout this region, this is a great farm to fresh painting.
Yes, quite beautiful, and you can see there's some people in the background. So this, it has a lot of activity going on with the foreground, with the squash right in front, and it's interesting because then you kind of like look around and see what's happening in the back.
It is interesting, and this would go great in a kitchen. If you know somebody who is a restaurateur, it would be a great piece for them. Maybe you can get it as a gift. Maybe you want to give it as a gift to yourself. We're going to go over to Dee in the phone bank, and then we'll be right back.
Ready? Hi, I'm here in the phone bank with our lovely intern Camille, who is holding piece number 39F, Delta Beauty. I've only got a bid of $400 on this. This piece is by Marie-Therese Brown. She's an accomplished artist. I love her work. This is the sweetest little piece of California gold you're going to see tonight. It has a value of $700. It's in a beautiful gilded frame. It's ready to go home. All you got to do is call 1-800-270-6601. I'm only going to hold it open for another 3 or 4 more minutes. I've got a bid of $400. I'm looking for a bid of $500. Again, it's Delta Beauty 39F. What do you think of it, Camille?
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece.
It's a beautiful piece, and it'd look great in your home. So give us a call now, and let's get this phone bank going. Let's go back to Doug.
All right, well, we're back, and we're with summer squash. And for those that are squash eaters, I have a friend who grows squash in her backyard, and she always cooks it in the most interesting way. And I'm not a big squash eater, but I will tell you that she cooks it in a very interesting way, and
makes it taste good.
Well, she does, and her husband's not a fond squash eater, but she forces him to eat it. If you're watching, you probably know who I'm talking about. Maybe this would be a great opportunity, and I might add a huge benefactor to KVIE.
Oh,
so maybe she wants
we're talking to that person.
Yes, we're
right
talking
now.
to that person right now, and we're hoping that you might bid. Since we have no bids right now,
this artist was at the farmer's market under the freeway and was very inspired by this scene and painted it especially for the KVIE Art Auction.
And that is, and who is the artist again? Do you know much about the artist?
I don't know this artist. We're not at the artery
Marianne
anymore.
Bland.
This is Marianne Bland.
Acrylic on canvas.
Acrylic on canvas, yes.
And what I would say is that if you have nothing in your kitchen right now except pots and pans and a blender, why not have...
This would be great in someone's kitchen, wouldn't it?
And the world is your oyster right now, or the world is your squash right now, because we have no bids on this. Our phone bank is sort of falling asleep over here. We need to hear from you. The number's on your screen, 1-800-270-6601. And what I would say is, even if you don't need this painting, why not bid on it anyway? Because what we're doing here is we are having this auction so that we can generate enough money to buy all the programming that you come to count on 365 days a year. So if you like Downton Abbey, if you like the News Hour, if you like the children's programming, this is the reason that we're doing this art auction, which is to generate money so that we can pay for that programming. You can't find this type of programming anyplace on the dial, ever. So now's your opportunity to step up to the plate, let us know that you believe in what we're doing, and buy some great art at the same time. We're going to move on to the next piece now. Let's go. We are going to move on to 40B. This is Cherry Tomato Splash. This is by Vicki Foote and beautifully framed. Tell us a little bit about this piece.
Okay, well, this is another acrylic painting. It looks like this person went to the farmer's market also.
Yes, maybe they went together.
Yeah, they'd be companion pieces. You could get a frame just like this frame on that other one, and they'd look like they went together.
Yeah.
It's quite beautiful. Cherry tomatoes all in a pile here. It's a large painting of little things made big.
I like that. That's a great way of putting it. And if you are somebody who enjoys tomatoes, or if you're somebody that enjoys
or like
vegetables.
me, you try to grow them and you can't, well, you can have a painting of them.
Exactly, that's right. Getting close. Well, we've got a value of, what is it, $500. We have no bids, so once again, this is a great opportunity to call in, bid. We just want to hear from you. And I'll give you a shout out. If you call in and you're the winning bidder, I will give you a shout out. But you've got to call us now. 1-800-270-6601. So this is an acrylic. And what is, for our audience, what does acrylic mean? What does that mean?
I'm going to make sure that it is acrylic. Yes, it is acrylic. And, you know, you can't tell sometimes the difference between an acrylic or an oil painting. But for an artist, an acrylic, it's more of a poly, it's a plastic, it dries very quickly. So it's a quick medium, doesn't dry slow like oil. It's very durable, lasts forever, so far as we know.
Exactly. And this would be a great gift. So if you know somebody that has a wonderful vegetable garden, has a green thumb, or maybe somebody that doesn't have a green thumb like you, it would be a great gift. I mean, what a great, great gift for somebody. We're going to throw it over the phone bank. We're going to talk about summer squash, and then we'll be right back. Heath, all to you.
Well, hello there. I am next to Summer Squash. This beautiful piece, Doug was mentioning this whole farm to fork movement, and especially relevant in our area because we are so heavy with agriculture, and then very relevant for KVIE because, of course, we have America's Heartland. It's our nationally syndicated program that you can watch on pretty much every PBS station around, and even internationally. How cool is that? So right now we have a bid of $150 on Summer Squash. All it takes is you being a part of the auction. Call in the phone number on your screen, talk to one of our great volunteers from Micron and our friends of KVIE, and they will take your call. And I also want to give a shout out to Chicago Fire. They provided food for our crew and staff tonight so that we could keep it going and have energy until the end of the night. And I also want to say a special mention, they make a fantastic gluten-free pizza, which for me, being gluten-free, is a great way to keep my energy going until the end of the night. Let's have an auction, Doug. Over to you.
All right, well, I'm sure you would probably like Cherry Tomato Splash then as well with yours. And we've got a little bit of an auction debate going on, a bidding war. We are at $175 now. The value is $300, so this is great. We want it to go up in $25 increments. We're at $175. We're looking for $200. If you want to get in on the action, call the number on your screen, 1-800-270-6601. Go to kvie.org if you want to do it online. And if you know somebody that's in another part of the world or another part of the United States, they can also bid by going online and we'll ship it to them. So what a great opportunity. So if you know somebody that happens to be in Hawaii, and I do know somebody that's in Hawaii on their anniversary, Jennifer Warren and Eric Bailey, if you're watching.
Are you?
I mean, how sad is that on your anniversary you happen to be watching the KVIE Art Auction? But, it is what it is. Hopefully you'll bid on this piece, Jennifer. I know you're interested in that. And we're going to move on to the next piece. This is 40C. This is Pears at Sunset. And it is oil on board, and this won a juror's award, I understand. So tell us a little bit about this.
This is a beautiful painting of pears. Again, it's very large, so he has taken a subject that is small, built it up, made it very big. It's really highly textured. And it's, I think it's called Pears at Sunset. And the sunset refers to the shadows, the lights coming from one side, long shadows.
And the bidding has begun on this one.
Oh, great.
The value is $500. We already have a bid of $200. We're going to be going up in $25 increments, so we're looking for $225. If you're interested in this, you want to make sure that you call now. In previous auctions, I have wanted to bid on something or I've not gotten what I wanted, and I've woken up the next morning and I thought,
why didn't I do it?
You know, for an extra $25 or an extra $50, or why didn't I bid on it? And the opportunity then is lost. You don't want to wake up tomorrow morning and say, what if? This is your chance now to get a great piece of art and to do a great job for KVIE. We're going to go over to Dee in the phone bank and we'll be right back. Dee?
Okay, I found them.
Dee.
Hi, I want to talk about Summer Squash. This is a beautiful little painting. This is a really well-known artist all the way through the Bay Area. She goes to farmers markets regularly where she does plein air painting, which means she does little sketches while she's out there. This would be fantastic in somebody's kitchen. You know, you organic vegetable folks love this sort of thing. Celebrate your farmers market. Celebrate KVIE. Right now, I only have a bid of $175. It's a $500 value. So give me a call for item number 40A, Summer Squash, and let's get that bid up there. Let's go back to Doug.
Okay, well, we are back talking about Pears at Sunset. We've got, I think, $350 now. We're going to go up in $25 increments. So we're getting close to the retail value, and we want to make this a bell ringer. Tell us a little bit, what were you saying right before?
We were just talking about what a dynamic composition this is. I mean, it's very modern in its approach. You have something, pears, that is a very typical still life subject, but the way this is painted, there's no, you don't see a table, they're there, but you know they're on something and there's a cast shadow, but it's the composition that I think.
It is great. It's beautifully framed. It's interestingly large and will look great really any place. And that's one of the things that I enjoy most about fruit.
It's something you kind of want to put your hands on and touch. It has that sculptural quality to it because the paint is thickly done. There's layers of paint.
Right.
It's not a flat painting. The frame with the black liner and the repetition of the black of the shadow.
And this is the only one.
It is the only one.
So, you know, if you're
I can see why the juror chose this. I think because of that composition and the design quality.
And we're at $400, and we're looking for $450. Or actually, we're going to look for $425. $425. We are still short of the value, and this is one of those things where I guarantee you, if you're one of the people that's bidding on this, you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and say, I wish I would have bid an extra $25. You want to get this. So we're going to move on to the next piece, and this is the Copper Cup. And we were talking a little bit about this earlier because it's reminiscent of Rembrandt, but I will defer to you because you are the art expert. Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, this is a beautiful still life, and it does look like old master's work. It has that luminescent quality. You can see the light on the grapes and the light on the garlic and the light on the copper pot coming out of the dark background.
And it's painted on a pretty thick piece of wood.
It looks like it's done directly on wood.
Right.
It's quite beautiful. That's a real, you know, people that paint with oils and acrylic paint directly on wood. And many of the masters painted on wood. It's very durable. It's, you know, not a canvas that can be slashed.
Right. And it is beautiful and beautifully signed by the artist. It's not that small, but it's not that large, so it can go in a lot of different places. It is a great conversation piece. We've got a value of $600. We've got a current bid of $250, so we're looking for $275. Again, it's all for KVIE, so everything that we generate from this auction goes to buy great programming that you see and count on 365 days a year. And we want to thank all of the artists who have donated all of their work to this art auction and the framers who have donated the framing. And of course, we want to thank our sponsors like the Nilo Company and Wells Fargo and others who have really stepped up to support public television in the Central Valley and beyond, because we can't do it without you. So thank you so much. And if you're one of those people that's watching and you're interested in this, again, one of a kind. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning, if you're that person that bid $250 and think, should I have bid an extra $25? And still we're short of the retail value of $600. So we need to hear from you now. The number's on your screen. I implore you to support KVIE. And if you're the person that bid $250, why not an extra $25 for KVIE? Bid against yourself, because my theory in these auctions is bid high, bid often. I think we're going to throw it over to Dee, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about our pairs. Dee?
I'm here with all of our great volunteers, and I've got, yay, volunteers! I've got pairs at Sunset, item number 4C. I have a bid of $425. We are just a little shy of that $500 bid. This is an award-winning piece. It's gorgeous. All of you people with your bright, sunny kitchens in East Sacramento, you need this piece in your kitchen. It's called Pairs at Sunset. It's item number 40C. Right now I've got $425. I'm just $75 shy of that $500 retail bid. It's framed. It's ready to go on the wall. Call us now, 1-800-270-6601, and place your bid. Let's go back to Doug.
Okay, that person that bid $425, why don't you do us a favor? Why don't you bid an extra $75, just take it up to $500, make it a bell ringer, squash out anybody that might be bidding against you, and do it for KVIE. And we'll give you a shout out if you want one. But we need you to do that right now. So I want to see that go up to the retail value of $500. But let's talk about the copper cup, which frankly we're lagging right now at the retail value. We're about $200 short, but we really want you to bid on this. And we're going to go on to the next piece because we've got a lot of other art to auction off, and hopefully this will continue to be going up. All right, now we're moving on to 40E, and this is called Best Impressions. It's by Gary Dinan. And I am going to defer to you on this, but I have some pieces by Gary Dinan, and he's prolific, to say the least. So there you go.
Well, Gary, I've seen his work, and it's sculpture, and it's very whimsical, and you can see some of the sculptural pieces that he may have used as his inspiration for this two-dimensional piece of work here. So when we say two-dimensional, it means has height and it has width, but there's no dimension because it's...
people say I'm two-dimensional.
Yeah, you're kind of two-dimensional.
Oh, thanks a lot.
But it's beautiful in its color and its design. It makes you smile.
It does, and there are so many interesting things in this that whether it's the... Can I borrow your pointer there?
My pointer, yes.
Yes, there you go. Well, you're the art expert. You should be pointing these things out. But if you look at the interesting faces, and you'll see something different in different places, like this car, which I didn't see earlier, and then he signed it right down here, Dinan 13, this interesting dog, and he does dogs. I think I have a couple of pieces of cake by him. But it's a great piece, beautifully matted, beautifully framed, and it's a significant piece. I mean, it's large.
He calls it Best Impressions, and it looks like everybody there is kind of like either worried about that they're not making their best impression.
Right, exactly.
They all have a great look on their face. You know, their expression is funny. It's interesting.
It is.
It's a sort of a Roy DeForest type painting, if anybody knows
well,
who
and Roy DeForest is obviously internationally known, and Gary is in collections all over the country, and he's in corporate collections, he's in museums, so this is an opportunity right now.
He's in your collection,
He's
too,
in my
right?
collection, exactly, and we're going to go over to the phone bank. We're going to be back to talk about this in a minute. Phone bank, it's all to you.
I am standing here in the phone bank with Brooke's beautiful little painting, Copper Cup. I love this painting. It's kind of got a nice Renaissance feel. It's a very classic little image. Right now, I've got a bid of $450 on it. It has a $600 retail value. That means this was hanging in the gallery for $600. So why don't you bump that up to $600 for KVIE? Let's get the retail price for it. Again, it's item number 40D, the Copper Cup, and it needs to go home with you tonight. And it can do that. It'll do that if you call us up at 1 1-800-270-660. Let's get these guys busy. I want to hear these phones ring. Let's go back to Doug.
$800. We've got a current bid of $240. For those of you out there that don't know about Gary Dinan, he is an important, well-known, collectible artist. You couldn't go into a gallery and get a piece of his work like this for where we are right now in the bidding war. I mean, it wouldn't happen. And so now's your opportunity in the largest art auction any place in Northern California to be anonymous. It's very, very easy. All you do is call our friendly phone bank right underneath that Nilo sign, and we will take your information and we'll have it here for you to pick up tomorrow, the next day, whatever works for you, but we need to hear from you now. The number's on your screen. So this is, how would you, is it a watercolor, acrylic?
I'm pretty sure it's an acrylic painting. It's called mixed media, so he may have some chalk, acrylic, some ink.
It looks like he's got some chalk in here.
I think he just had a great time just going to town on this.
Well, and he's very generous because he has donated many times to the art auction.
And you know, if he's really well known for his ceramics and he does something like this, this is even seems to be more prized in a way because it's more of a one of a kind.
That's right.
It's not something he does.
Well, we are at $240 and we're looking for $265. Again, it's all for KVIE, so we need to hear from you now. The number's on your screen. This would be a great gift. So if you know somebody that has maybe a dental office or a doctor's office or a lawyer's office and they've got a waiting area and it's sort of boring, what a great gift. And you know, the holidays are coming up. Hanukkah,
that's right.
Kwanzaa, Christmas, maybe you know somebody.
Birthday,
your birthday.
All those things are coming up.
Absolutely. And what a great way to not only support KVIE, but give a gift that will retain its value. And we're going to move on to the next piece right now, which is 40F, and this is pomegranate. And this is a beautiful glass blown piece, really incredible. And we're going to let you talk about it.
Well, I was just talking to an artist today talking about how glass blowing is quite an expensive media.
Right.
They have to keep those glass ovens on for a long time, and so it's quite exquisite and expensive when you go to see glass work. And this is blown glass, and it's hollow inside. Right now there's great iridescent, all kinds of lights coming through, and it's in the shape of a pomegranate.
And it has, it appears to have some type of painting on the outside of the pomegranate as well.
Yeah, there's some, you know, I'm not quite sure, I'm not that familiar with how they put the other colors onto the glass.
It's beautiful. This would be great on a coffee table. It would be wonderful on a bedside table, maybe on a dining room table. That's the great thing about art, and what we find at our house is we move art around all the time, and it tends to have a give a different feel to the room when you move it around. And this is one of the things where it's easy to move around. It's definitely a conversation piece. It's very collectible. It's already a bell ringer because we are over the retail value. We are at $210. So if you were the person that bid $210, why not bid a little bit more for KVIE? If you want to get in on the action, now's your opportunity. The number's on your screen. We've got a lot more art to auction off. This is something that is unique, it's one of a kind, and you don't want to wake up tomorrow morning and say, I really wish I would have gotten that pomegranate.
The artist says that the way
and we're coming into pomegranate season as well.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
We ate our first pomegranate today.
Did you? So say, for example, you're going to somebody's house for Thanksgiving. What a great, great gift to take to somebody. And I mean, they're going to be paying for a delicious meal. Why not bring them a wonderful gift?
It could be a table centerpiece.
It could. We're at $250 right now. We're looking for $275. $275 is what we're looking for, and we're going to rotate this a little bit more. Here's this interesting looking
we're
little
supposed
glove.
to be putting the glove on.
Well, here, I'll let you
it.
put the glove on. I'm not touching the. Believe me, I don't want to touch it. I'm afraid it will. Something will happen. But it is really, really beautiful, and I think it would be a wonderful gift for somebody. And it does justice on TV, I think. We're at $250. We're looking for $275. Again, the retail value is just a number now because we want to continue to have it go up.
This artist has his master's degree in fine art. And I know that he's done something really special here. There's some beautiful, like silver iridescent,
right,
something applied to it. Kind of looks like a figure. It's just another intriguing part of it. It's quite beautiful.
This is a piece that you're going to arrive here at the KVIE studio, and you're going to be very, very excited about. Do you want to
Do you want the glove?
Well, why don't you pick it up?
Well, I don't know if I want to pick it up.
Okay. Well, we won't.
I have a sore thumb.
Okay. Well, we won't. But well, I'll pick it up.
Okay, pick it up with your bare hands.
Oh my gosh! I mean, it's heavy.
Here,
this is
now you can put it in
much
my
heavier
hand.
than I thought.
Yeah.
And it was done in 2005. It's signed on the bottom. I don't know if you can zoom in because now we're over to D for a change. D. Oh, there we are. So if you zoom in, it's pretty interesting and it's heavy. So this is a substantial piece. We want you to stay with us. We want you to watch your television because we've got so much more original art for you to bid on and buy coming up next as the KVIE Art Auction continues.